Are you able to see my screen? Is my voice audible? Okay, then let's get it started. Yesterday we were discussing about the why destructors are not there in Java, right? Why destructors are not there in Java. See, what is destructor actually? Destructor, if you want to understand destructor, you want to understand the constructor. Okay, constructor is, if you want to construct an object, it is like constructing an object. So technically you can say it as like it is called as memory allocation, right? So in every programming language, the object construction is also called as what? The memory allocation, right? So the destructor is just opposite to the constructor. So if it is allocating memory, if constructor is allocating memory, destructors are going to do what? They are going to do the memory deallocation. So they are nothing but destroying an object, right? So yesterday I have explained you with an analogy, college example analogy. So if let us say that there is a college called ABC college, right? And in every college there will be a break for lunchtime, right? So whenever there is a lunch break, the rules and regulations of ABC college is like you can enjoy eating your lunch in the classrooms, okay? But the rule number one says make sure that you clean the food that gets spilled over. First rule. Okay, what does it really mean? After consuming your lunch, after having your lunch, right, the food that is getting spilled over has to be cleaned by yourself, right? If not, make sure you collect all the garbage that gets generated when you complete your lunch, right? So it is saying that you have to ensure that the classroom is completely hygienic after the lunch is over. So this is the rule book of ABC college. Okay? This analogy is like what? You are creating the garbage and you need to clear that garbage. So you are the creator and you should also be a destroyer, right? So if you want to apply this analogy to the C++ programming language, so in the C++ programming language, when the object is constructor, it's the programmer's responsibility to construct an object. At the same time, it is also the programmer's responsibility to destroy that object to achieve the what? Balanced memory allocation, or else we can say that to ensure that the memory gets cleared then and there, right? So this analogy can be complete applied for C++ programming language, right? The second analogy, if you are studying, people are studying in XYZ college and there is a college called XYZ college, as an assumption, okay? During the lunch break, what XY college says, their rule book says you can eat whatever you want, you can spill over, you can throw the food, you can play around with the food, okay? After completing your lunch period, the premises will be cleaned by the cleaning staff. So there is a dedicated cleaning staff in this XYZ college. The staff members are going to clean the premises. You can enjoy your lunch in your own way. Right? They are also saying that you can leave the class no matter how much garbage you generate during the lunch hours. So this analogy can be applied to what? This analogy can be applied to the Java programming language. So programmer can create objects, right? They can be a creator of an object, but when it comes to destroying the objects, the Java language will destroy the object. You do not have to worry about object destructions. Java language will take care. Java language says, hey programmer, you create how many objects you want. Okay, I don't care, right? And also you do not have to worry about the object destruction. I will take care of object destruction. So this is an added advantage to the programmer, because programmer can concentrate only on object creation and the Java language is going to take care of object destructions. Will save some time. The the memory management will be very effective in this case. Because Java is a simple programming language, the programmer should never worry about the object destruction. The memory management is going to be effective. So this is the analogy, you can understand it, okay? So C++, they have constructors and they can construct an object, you can destroy an object, but in Java you can use only constructors. I mean, you can only create objects, you cannot destroy it. So we have understood the simple example. So I have a computer, right? So this is my computer. I have opened my notepad and I have written this program, right? So there are two properties, name property. Let us say that for an assumption I am taking the name as ABC. and there is an age property 24, right? And I create an object. Okay, I create an object student obj equal new. We have seen these things yesterday. You do not have to worry about this program. Just try to understand how memory is getting allocated behind the scenes. In this programmatic part, we are going to see each and every keyword in the future classes. For now, try to understand how these things are going to create how this program is going to create the object or allocate the memory, right? So there will be a compiler. So compiler will perform the compilation, right? After that, the student.java file, okay, the student.java file becomes what? Student.class file, right? Compiler will take care to generate the dot class file. A byte code will be generated, and this byte code will be sent to JVM, Java Virtual Machine, right? And JVM is going to create a main thread. This main thread will get access to the main method, and because of this instruction, so this is the main method, and because of this particular instruction, okay, an object will be created, and this object is going to have the memory allocated for the properties or instance variables. There are two properties here, name property and age property. So memory gets allocated. So who is allocating the memory here? Programmer is allocating the memory here. I am allocating the memory here, right? So memory gets allocated, and let us say that 10 bytes of memory is getting consumed, right? After the memory allocation, what is happening? After the memory allocation, what is happening? Okay, the main thread will not, there are no more instructions after the object creation, right? Object is just created, and as soon as this application gets executed completely, this red color symbol, right? So the Java will take care of destroying this object. If Java is not taking care of destroying object, each time you run this application, okay, this is the RAM. Okay, just imagine this is a RAM, random access memory area in every electronic devices. RAM plays the major part for the for the memory allocation, right? So every time this application is being run, a block of memory gets occupied, and if there is no concept of object restriction, every block of memory will be occupied, and the moment you start running this application for the 11th time, there will be no more memory in your RAM to execute this application. It says out of memory error. Okay? That's why these things will play a key role, very important role. Okay, Dinesh Kumar, you can place your Teams in the mute. You can keep it on the mute. Click on mute button. There is a button like this called mute. Just do this. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is what now today. Okay, I hope you have understood the extra days class. Every day I will take you through the extra day session just for the revision. Okay, it is very important. People who have missed us extra days class will get some picture about it. Okay, now we will start today's session. Today's session is also very important, and today's session says, right, why Java follows only call by value parameter mechanism. Okay, this question itself is very tricky. Okay, very confusing for you people, right? Why Java follows only call by value parameter passing mechanism, whereas C and C, very simple. There is a concept called call by value parameter mechanism. Okay, first we will understand what is parameter passing mechanism in programming languages. We will understand this, then each and every terminology will be understood. Okay, shall we start? Please type what is 10 plus 10, everyone. What is the summation of 10 plus 10? The reason why I am asking is to ensure that we are building a rapport. It's not about, thank you Arudra, it's not about, everyone type guys. There is Jyoti, Revati, Lakshmi, Teja, Monica, Dinesh Kumar, Srikanth. Type, how long it will take for you to type the answer? Good. And try to be bold in asking questions. Okay, you are always welcome to unmute and ask me any kind of questions if you find any confusion, okay, with my explanation. Okay, we will start. Okay, good that everyone are answering. So focus on this topic. Right. focus on this topic. Okay, the topic is Ajay. We have just started the class, Ajay. You can continue from here. Okay, I have just started the class.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Let us understand this. Why Java? Okay, I'll go back to the main screen. So here is the question. Why Java follows only call by value parameter mechanism, whereas C and C++ follows both call by value and call by reference parameter passing mechanism. This class is going to be very, very interesting, but you also need to pay some attention. First of all, we'll understand this. We'll completely understand this statement through a code, through a small code. What is parameter passing mechanism in programming languages? Does it really mean? To understand this, I want you, okay, I'm going to write a small Java program. Focus here. Okay, this is my Java program. Okay, I am going to take a class. Don't worry about this. What is class? What is method? Understand the idea here. Okay. There is a class and inside, okay, name of the class is test class. We are testing. Okay, you can keep any name, but for simplicity, I'm taking it as test class. After this, I'm taking a method called the main method, public static void main string array box. Okay. So I have one class, and inside this class, I am taking a main method. Okay, and after this, I'm going to keep a simple statement inside this main method. Okay. The instruction says system dot out dot println. Okay. The system dot out dot println is going to print exactly what content we are placing inside this instruction. Okay. Testing means it is going to print the testing. So we are trying to understand the control flow. Okay, now you see, okay, let me keep it like this. Okay. So this is the main method. So how many instructions the main method has? Only one instruction it has. Okay, and I'm going to take another method, and the name of the method is my own method. I want to design my own method. Okay, and I'm going to keep the name of the method as add method. This is my own method. Okay. This add method is going to accept two arguments. One is integer. Two arguments are in the form of integer or integer a comma b. Okay, focus here. Integer a comma integer b, which means you can pass two numbers here. Two numbers you can pass here. Okay, and so there is a logic inside this. What logic I want to keep? Same system dot out dot println. Okay, I'm going to do what? I'm going to do a plus b. Very simple, right? Okay. Now focus here. I have a main method. Okay, I have one class called test class. So this is the test class. Inside this test class, I have a main method. And inside this main method, I want to call this method add. I will start showing you the control flow. Don't worry. Okay, stay focused. So this is my program, guys. In my computer, I have written this piece of code. Always remember, so there is a class as a boundary here. Okay, this is the class boundary. Okay, you are opening the bracket and you are closing the bracket here. So the parentheses are balanced here. Opening is happening here and closing is happening here. Inside this class, and again there are two methods. Okay, this is the main method. Main method means the predefined method, the method that is constructed by the Java people. Java people has given this method, main method. There is another method you have here. Okay, there are two methods. Okay, main method, and this is the user defined method. This is my method. I designed this method. So when I design my method, I call this method as what? User defined method. When I'm using the already designed method by Java people, that is called as what? Predefined method. So I have a class. Inside my class, there are two methods, right? And always ensure that whenever you are writing your code in the notepad, okay, only if you save this code with the help of .java extension, your computer is going to treat this as Java code. Are able to follow? Okay. Extension should always be .java. Okay, sir, extension is .java. What should be the name of the class? Name of the class, it is always recommended to keep the name of the class as, keep the name of the file as same as your class name. What is your class name? Class name is what? Test.java, right? test.java. I mean, class is test. Okay. Use the class name followed by .java extraction. Then your computer will realize, okay, the person has written some piece of code in the notepad, which is a Java code. If you're not doing .java, okay, it will be treated as a plain text, right? So as soon as you do this, what you have to do, as soon as you do this, you need to send this code to the compiler. You need to send this piece of code to what? Piece of code to the compiler. Okay, this flow, we will follow this flow every time until we are getting used to this, completely. Until we get until we get comfortable. Okay. Now compiler is going to do what? Compiler will check each and every instruction. It is going to check each and every line of code, and if the code is error free, only if the code is error free, it is going to generate a file called what? A dot class file will be generated. Okay, that is what? Test dot class file. Test dot class file will be generated only if the code is error free. After generating this, okay, we need to perform the execution. To perform the execution, we send this test.class file to the JVM. Okay, this is what? Java virtual machine. People who are joining classes today, they will understand this after completing my previous sessions. Okay. What is it? Test.class file will be generated, and you need to pass this test.class file to what? To the JVM. As soon as JVM gets this file test.class, starts executing the program. To execute the program, the JVM will create a thread called the main thread. What is the name of this thread? Main thread. Main thread is nothing, guys. Main thread is simply like a control flow. Okay? This main thread, as soon as it gets generated, you call it as main. It tries to get access to the main method. Always remember, whenever whatever code that you write, your code could be 1000 lines or your code could be 2000 lines, but the main thread will execute in the instructions that are there only in the main method. So where is the main method? So this is the main method. This part is the main method, right? You can call this as main method, or you can call this as what? The predefined method. Both are same. Okay, what are the names that you can give? You can call this as main method or predefined method. Let me write that here for you. This is very, very important to understand the parametric passing mechanism. Main method or predefined method, because they are created by which people? Java people. Predefined, right? So main thread gets created in the JVM. Okay, main thread will try to get access to what? It will try to get access to the main method. Okay, the control will travel to check for the main method, right? As soon as the main method is found, okay, this is the main method, it will start executing all the instructions. So now you tell me, guys, what is the first instruction? First instruction is very straightforward. Okay, that you have kept system.out.println. Whatever the statement that you are, whatever the content is available inside the system.out.println, testing is the content, right? That is going to get printed in the console. Just imagine this is a console, testing will be printed. First instruction execution is completed. Okay, and this main thread will get access to the next instruction, which is what? And add 100. No, it is not dot, it is comma. Okay, it is comma, not dot. It's just comma. Okay, 100 comma 200. Now JVM will try to identify, okay, this person is calling a method called the add method. We'll try to find, is there any method like add method in the current program? Okay, there is a method called add method here. Forget about this. It will not check whether it is a public, static, void. Okay, that checking will be there, but the main checking is going to be for which method? Add method, because it is in the same class, right? So no matter what you're putting it, public, static, but we'll understand this in the future class. Right? Understand the concept. Add method is available. Okay, and it will also check, is there any method if the add method is accepting two numbers as an argument, 100 comma 200 or two integer numbers, right? 100 comma 200 are what? They are two integer numbers. Okay? And this add method is also accepting two integer numbers. Now the control will be transferred directly to this add method. From here, the control will jump to this add method. Able to follow? Control will jump to the add method. Right? Now what happens actually? This 100 will be given to this integer a, and this 200 will be given to this integer b. Okay, now what you are doing? You are doing what? There is a mapping here. This a gets mapped to this a gets mapped to this a, right? And this b is going to get mapped to this b, right? So what are the actual values? This a has got 100 and this b has got 200. Okay, 100 plus 200 becomes what? 300. So this statement gets executed. Right? And this 300 gets displayed in the console. So testing, and the next is 300 is going to get displayed in the console. And after executing this method, it will go back exactly where the control was transferred before. Okay, the control was transferred from year to year, then all the instructions inside this method got executed, job is completed, and it has to go back to the exact location where it was transferred. Okay, this was the location it was transferred, right? Is there any more instructions inside this main method? No. So this is the end of the main method, right? Okay, this is the end of the main method. End of main method. Right? As soon as it reaches the end of the main method, this main thread go back to JVM, right? And JVM will do what? JVM will destroy this main method, right? And you will get output like console and 300. What we have understood with this program, that is could be the question. So it is just like a very easy program. What we have understood, don't you think that you are passing some parameters? So this concept is called what? Parameter passing mechanism. What is parameter passing mechanism in programming language? So these are called as parameter. Okay, this is parameter 1, this is parameter 2, right? So the moment you call the main method, let me repeat. I'm sorry, the moment you call the add method, with two parameters, you are passing these parameters to the add method. So this add method is accepting the parameters that you are passing, right? And the mechanism that is happening between year and year. Okay, 200 is what is going for B and 100 is going for A. These two are the parameters, and you are passing these parameters to call another method. This mechanism is called as what? Parameter passing mechanism. What does it mean? Parameter passing mechanism. This transferring the control from one method to another method with the help of parameters called as what? Parameter passing mechanism. Are you able to understand? Now you got to know what is parameter passing mechanism in programming language, right? This concept is called as what? Parameter passing mechanism. Now another terminology I want you to understand here. What is it? Another terminology. So this is the main method, right? This is the main method. From main method you are calling what? You are calling another method. From the main method you are calling another method. The method which is calling another method, let me repeat, the method which is calling another method, that method is called as what? Calling method. Here the main method is calling method, because from the main method the control is getting transferred to another method. Yes or no? From the main method you are transferring the control to another method. So this method becomes calling method. Okay, the method that is being called is called as what? Being called is called as what? Called method. Okay, you can also call this as calling method or caller method. Both are same. What you can call? You can call it as what? Calling method, or you can call this as calling method or called method. Okay. And not called method, caller method. Both are same, but the method that is being called is as what? Called method. So these two important elements you need to understand to proceed further, right? So we have understood what is the parameter passing mechanism in the programming language. Now the next question is, what is call by value? Next question, we need to understand what is called by value and what is called by reference. Call by value, what is call by value and what does it mean to be what does it mean to be called by reference? Okay, to understand this, I want you to understand the next program. Okay, this is the first level program, next level program. Okay, and now we are trying to understand what is call by value. So this is very important focus here. Call by value. Okay. I'm taking another simple code for the better understanding. We take a simple Java code. Okay, this time focus here. I'm going to keep the name of the class as test class itself. Okay, and so inside this test class, I'm taking a method called public static void main string array arguments. Okay, I have taken a main method. So inside this main method, now focus here. I am taking a variable here. I'm taking a variable here. Okay, I have a value 10. I want to assign this value 10 to the variable name a, which is of integer type. 10 is a number, numerical value, so integer, int, right? I'm taking another variable, integer b equal to 20. So I'm declaring two variables here. Okay? After the declaration, what I want to do after the declaration, okay? So let me take a method here. This time the name of the method is public static void multiply method. I am taking this multiply method will accept two arguments, integer a comma integer b. What this multiply method is going to do, multiply method is going to accept the two arguments, and this multiply method is going to multiply the given numbers. Dot println a to b. That's it. Very simple code, right? And here what I am doing is, here I want to call this multiply method, okay? And I want to do the parameter passing mechanism, which we have just discussed, a comma b. Now focus here. This is going to be very interesting. Okay? This is my piece of code. Okay? This code has been written or drafted in a notepad, right? What is the rule number one? Rule number one is what? Whatever the code that you write, if you want to represent this code as a Java code, okay, use .java extension. Okay? And preceding this .java extension, you need to use the name of the class. Always the file name should be same as the class name. That is highly recommended. Just .java. Okay? So we have to go through what? We have to go through the compilation. Okay, compiler will come into the picture. Yes or no? Right? Compiler is going to come into the picture, right? So this is compiler. Okay. Now compiler, the job of the compiler is going to check all the each and every lines of code, right? And it is going to generate, if the code is error free, if there are no errors inside the code, it is going to generate a file called .class file. What .class file? The file name, what is the file name? Test.java. Test.java becomes what? Test.class. Right? After this conversion, okay, JVM comes into the picture. JVM will perform the actual execution. What JVM will do? JVM is going to take this .class file and it will start executing the instruction. As soon as this .class file is consumed by JVM, it is going to create a thread. Okay, thread is nothing but control. Okay, the name of the thread is what? The name of the thread is main thread, empty. Simplifying. Okay, this main thread will try to get access to the main method to execute the instructions. Okay, it will start finding the main method inside of the class. As soon as it found the main method, it will execute each and every instruction in the main method. Now this time you are deliberately assigning values to some variables. Yes or no? In the memory level, okay, integer a, for integer a equal to 20, there will be a memory allocated for the variable a, right? This is a variable a. Okay, memory gets allocated and this is going to hold the value 10. Okay, what is the next instruction? First instruction is 10. What is second instruction? What is second instruction? Integer b equal to 20. Okay. Likewise, another memory block gets allocated, okay, and 20 is the value, right? And this is going to be what? This is going to be b. Okay, so this memory will be allocated in stack area. Don't worry about the stack area. You will understand about the stack area later. So this is how the memory gets allocated behind the scenes. Okay. After this, what we are doing? We are performing what? Parameter passing mechanism. What we are performing? Parameter passing mechanism. Okay, this main thread will recognize a method called multiply method. It will search for multiply method within the class. Okay, within the class. Okay, there is a main method and there is another method. The name of the method is multiply. Okay, this is matching. Okay, method name is matching. And what is happening after this? It is accepting two arguments, a comma b. What is a? A is 10. Right? What is b? B is 20. Right? This 10 and 20 will sit on top of these new variables 10 and 20. But this time what will happen? A copy of memory is going to get created. Okay, so this is the actual memory, okay, for these variables. Okay, these variables are inside the main method. Right? So we are passing 10 comma 20, right? Which means this 10 will be sitting on top of integer a and this 20 will be sitting, here in the integer towards integer b. Okay. So again, these are two new variables in a different method. These are the two new variables. Integer a is new variable, yeah, which is taking 20 as an value, and integer b is a new variable which is taking 10 as a value, which is taking 20 as a value. Okay, the arguments that you are passing, okay, these arguments are called as what? The actual arguments. Actual arguments. The argument that is accepting by another method, these arguments are called as what? Formal arguments. I will tell you why actual and why formal. Okay, as soon as these values are getting transferred, from year to year. Okay, and again a copy of memory gets created. Two copy of memory gets created. Okay, and this is going to be 10 again, and this is going to be 20 again. Here it is going to be what? 20 again. Right, and again this is going to be what? A. Okay, A of formal arguments, and this is going to be B of formal arguments. It's very simple, guys. Okay, to understand this analogy, I want you to show you a small demonstration. Let us say that okay, tomorrow is your Java language exam. Okay, and you have a book. Right? And you have a book called Java book. Okay, this is you. Or let us say that this is me. I am your sir, right? I am your sir. Let's say that this is me, and this is my Java book. Right? And you as a student, you want to, so this is you. You are the student. I am the sir. This is me. Don't ask where is legs and all. Okay. But just for the understanding, I am keeping this. This is me and this is you. This is your sir. This is you. You are asking me, sir, tomorrow I have a Java exam. Can you lend me your book? Can I borrow your book? Okay. What I am saying, I don't like to borrow my book because my book is very neat and tidy. I don't mark any kind of highlighters. I don't use highlighters. I don't mark any important questions. I don't want to give a book, but what I can do is I can give my book so that you can take the Xerox. Okay? So instead of giving a book, I'm asking you to take the Xerox copy of my book so that can be with you always, and you can do whatever you want. If you want, you can perform the highlighters. You can use the highlighters to mark the important questions, right? You can do things like this. Right, so what is happening here? The Java book, the same Java book you are not giving, you are giving a book. A copy of book you are giving. I am giving you a copy of book so that you can do whatever you want, because this book is going to be, because you as a student, you mark a lot of important notes or important questions, or you may use the highlighters to specify the important points, things like that. So the damage will not happen to the actual book. The same concept here. Okay, when you are using an argument in the main method, and if you're calling the method a different method, and if you're passing that arguments, these arguments are called as what? Actual arguments, the original arguments. Okay? The argument that is being passed to the method, okay, these arguments becomes what? The formal arguments. Okay, so there will always be a copy. A copy is going to get created. What is going to created? A copy is going to get created. Okay? Whatever the changes that you do to this copy will not affect the original value. What does it mean? Whatever changes that you do, whatever scribbling that you do in the Xerox copy of the book, it will not affect my book, right? Because both are different. Likewise, a copy gets created, that copy of values will be transferred to this. Right? In future, if you are making changes, okay, instead of okay, now see, after this what will happen? Okay, the control is going to get transferred to the multiply method, right? Inside this multiply method, the only one instruction is there, which is what? A into B. What is A? 10 comma 20. Okay, this 10 and 20 has to get multiplied because you are using what? The multiply operator. 10 into 20 into 10 becomes what? 200. Right? The 200 will get displayed in the console. Let us imagine that this is the console and 200 will be displayed in the console. Right? And the control will be transferred back from the place where it was called, and the main thread will go back to JVM and it is going to get displayed. Okay, now I'm doing some changes. What change I'm doing it here? Instead of keeping the system.out.println 8 comma 10 comma 20, I'm removing this. Instead of this statement, okay, I want to add another statement here. What statement I want to add here? Okay, I want to do an experiment. I want to do the A plus 10. A plus 10. Okay, the value A I am accepting as 10. Okay, I want to accept the value 10. I want to add that value with another 10, or let us say that A plus 20. Okay, and I want to assign the same thing to A. Okay, I want to perform an arithmetic operation. Okay, this A is what? The value that is accepting. The 10 is what? The A. Okay, and I want to perform what? I want to after getting this answer, I want to assign back the summation to the A itself. Right, and the next thing is I want to take B. Look at this example. I want to take B. B equal to B plus 30. Okay, B is coming as 20 from the parameter passing mechanism. B is coming as 20. Okay, this 20 is again getting added with a number 30. Okay, after this arithmetic operation, and the resultant value needs to be assigned to the B itself. What is actually happening? We are performing a modification in the formal arguments. Modification is happening. This modification will reflect here. What is the actual value of A and B? Initially it was 10, 20. Now it becomes what? 10 becomes what? 10 plus 20, right? 10 plus 20 is going to be 30. New values, right? And 20 will be changed to 20 plus 30 because B is being accepted as 20. You are adding another 30, and the resultant value is again getting assigned to B itself. Okay, the changes will get reflected in the formal arguments. Now this time it is going to be what? 50. Right? This data will not transmitted back to the original values. So these are the actual arguments. Okay, and these are the what? These are the formal arguments. Okay. The changes that you are making in the formal arguments will remain with the formal arguments itself. These changes will not get transmitted back to the actual values. That is what I'm trying to say. You are making changes by accepting the values with the help of parameter passing mechanism. I said this is the actual argument, and the values are getting transferred. Okay, this transferred value will get another memory space. A copy of memory will get created. 10, 20. Okay, this is going to be 10 again. This is going to be 20 again. And after this, you are performing the remodification. You are doing some manipulation. You want to change the values of A and 20. You are doing what? A plus 20 and B plus 30, and the resultant value is getting assigned to the formal arguments, the variable of the formal arguments. The changes are strictly limited only to this area, and it will not transmitted back to the original values. Will not transmit back to the. This is going to be 10, 20 itself. This is just like a book. I'm lending you a book, and not a book. I'm lending you the Xerox copy of the book. What you are doing? You are making lot of highlighters and you are marking important point. Do you think that that will affect here? Because you are making changes on the copy, just like that. Able to follow what is happening here. Here what is happening? Parameter passing mechanism. And this parameter passing mechanism is called as what? The call by value. This is called as what? This concept is called as what? Call by value. You are calling another method by passing some values to the method. So here call by value is, and again this is parameter passing mechanism only. The internal concept is called what? The call by value. You are calling another method by passing values. That is why it is called as what? Call by value. Now the theory. Now the theory says, let me write the theory here. Okay. So why Java will support only call by value, not call by reference? That is the $1 billion question. Okay. Now the conclusion is here. If any programming language, if we pass primitive data types as parameters in the methods, okay, it is called as what? Called as call by value parameter passing mechanism. You might be wondering what are the primitive data types. There are 8 primitive data types in Java. Okay, byte we have, short we have, integer we have, long we have, float we have, double we have, char we have, and boolean we have. Don't ask me what are these things. These are the primitive data types. So each and every data type will accept the specific value. Right? When you use the primitive data type, integer is also, int is also primitive data type. You can see int here, right? It's one of the primitive data types. When you use primitive data types to call a method, to call another method, okay, so that concept is called as what? Call by value parameter passing mechanism. First of all, we have understood what is parameter passing mechanism. Yes or no? Now we are understanding what is call by value parameter passing mechanism. Able to follow? Making sense? Type yes in the chat box if you have understood so far. Come on everyone, call by value. Have you understood what is call by value? Just don't worry about what are Java classes, what is a method. Just understand the internal concept, calling something with help of value. Just type yes or no. Not able to follow?
No, sir.
Okay, oh, thank you Ajay. Everyone be active guys, be like Ajay and Arudra. How long does it take for you to type yes in the chat box? Yes or no? That's it, right? What else I am asking? I'm not asking any questions. Should be active and bold enough to give answers, right? Okay then. So if any programming language we pass primitive data types and parameters in the methods, it is called as call by value parameter. So these are the primitive data types. You know, the question is, Java supports call by value. Java supports only call by value. Okay, this is one of the popular interview questions. Java supports call by value passing mechanism, but Java does not support call by reference passing mechanism. We will understand what is call by reference later. But what is call by reference? Okay, Java says, please be informed that call by reference is not supported by Java. Supported by Java. Reference means what? Reference means address. Reference means address. Because call by reference is what? You want to pass an address. Or you want to pass what? You want to pass address. So in call by reference, we need to pass address, which are stored in the form of pointers. You know what is pointers? Java does not allow pointers. You know that. Okay. call by reference is nothing but you, instead of passing primitive data types, you want to pass pointers. But the concept of pointers is not there in Java, first of all. Okay? We need to pass addresses which are stored in the form of pointers. Okay? When pointers are not there in Java, when call by references is accepted only by pointers, it is not accepted by Java. Okay? I can say that, however, pointers concept is not there in Java due to security reasons. Right? Pointers concept is not there in Java due to security reasons. Hence, Java does not support. This is popular interview question. Hence, Java does not support call by reference. What Java does not support? Java does not support call by reference parameter passing mechanism. Okay, so this is the answer that you can give in the interview room. Okay, we have understood what is parameter passing mechanism in programming language. Okay, why Java does not support call by, why Java supports only call by value but not call by reference? Okay, this should be the answer. Okay, this should be the answer. Okay, next thing, apart from these things, okay, let us keep these things. Okay, now we have understood what is call by value. Again, this call by value is differentiated into two types, guys. Okay, call by value is differentiated into what? How many times? Two types in Java. In Java, to take call by value, we have discussed one part of the call by value. One part of the call by value. Okay, Java is going to do this call by value in two different ways. One way is passing primitive types, passing primitive data types, which we have discussed just now. What are the primitive data types? Integer. Let me start from the beginning. Don't worry, byte. I will explain each and every data type in detail in the future classes. Every data type will take at least one class. Right? Byte, char, int, float, long, double, char, and we have what? Boolean. If you count this, that will be 8 data types. Boolean, so everything has to be in lower cases, guys. Remember this. 8. So this is one way of calling by value. This is one of the ways of calling by value. One of the ways. This is one of the ways. What is the other way? Other way is, for one of the ways by using primitive data types. Other way is by using what? By using object references. Object references. So Java supports only call by value. Strictly speaking, Java supports only call by value. Why call by references is not supported? This is the reason. Okay. Again, this call by value is differentiated into two categories. One category is you can do the parameter passing mechanism by using primitive data types. Second one is by you can do the parameter passing mechanism by using object references. Now we have to understand what is this object references. You have to understand what is object references. To understand this, I am going to take a simple Java class. Okay. Over here, it will take 15 more minutes, guys. If you are logging, the Teams app will get logged out, knock you out automatically. Please rejoin. Okay. Don't wait for my instructions. I will be waiting. Please rejoin if you get knocked out of the meeting. Okay. It is going to take 15 more minutes. Show some patience. Okay. I want to take a class called, this time I want to take a class called the car class. Okay. The name of the class is car class. Right? This will be interesting. So when I am taking car class, car is going to have a name, right? Okay. So name, in the sense, name should be represented in the form of string in Java. And again, the string class we will understand about the string. It will take at least 10 classes to understand about the string. For now, just try to understand. String is going to store names, any sequence of characters. If you want to store any sequence of characters, use string. This is also a data type. The second one is car is going to have mileage, right? Mileage is always going to be represented in the form of floating point values. Mileage. Right? Floating means you have to use float. Whenever you're using float data types, float data type means if something comes in the fractional part, 10.20, 20.50, like that fractional, if you find any fractional part, that fractional part data has to be represented with the help of float data type. Okay, I'm just declaring, I'm not initializing this value. Okay, I'm just giving the declaration. Right, no value is getting initialized. I'm just giving, okay, I'm going to use name, car name, and I'm going to use car mileage. After this, I am considering taking the main method. Main method is prototype of main method is what? Public static byte main string array arguments. So this is the prototype of the main method. Okay, now try to focus here. Okay, this is a prototype of the main method. Okay, I have just taken the main method. Right. After this, after doing this, I am taking another method. Okay, public static void customer method. Name of the method is customer method. This time this customer method is going to accept a parameter. Focus here. This customer method going to accept a parameter. Let me do this. Going to accept a parameter of the core object. Core object. So what do you mean by this? Okay. Previously you have passed an integer. That is understandable. What is this core object? I will explain you. Give me some time. Okay. Now in the main method you are creating an object for the car. Yesterday we have seen how to create an object. Use the class name and give any reference variable name. Syntax is what? Class name followed by reference variable name equal to, you have to use the new keyword and followed by the class name. This is the object creation process. I mean, you are allocating the memory. Memory is getting allocated to the object. I'm creating the core object. For now, just keep it in mind. Very simple. Object creation is what? Nothing but memory allocation. Right? Core object is created. Okay. Now after creating this core object, and you want to call this customer method. In order to call this customer method, you need to use the customer name method name. This is the customer method. Right? Okay. And now focus here. It is accepting the core object, which means you want to pass the reference value of the core object. So this is the reference value of the core object. So I am passing the object here. Okay. So this is what? This is the object type. Previously we have discussing about primitive types. This is talking about what? Object reference type. You are creating an object and you are passing that reference to call the method, which is what? Customer method. Customer method is accepting what? Core object, which means you have to pass this variable name object as to be passed as an object itself. Okay, this will you need to what we call it as put some efforts to understand this. Okay, because in future we are going to discuss this anyhow. I'm just trying to explain you what is call by value for object reference. Now after this, what you are doing? After this, what you are doing? You are just doing some manipulations here. What kind of manipulations? Okay, you are accepting the core object is in the variable name object, and you are trying to, okay, let me keep till here. Now this is my typical code, Java code. Okay. Now what are the rules that we have to follow? Rule number 1, this code has been written in the notepad, and if you want to represent this code as a Java code, use the .java extension to save this, and the name of the file should be same as the class name. So car is the class name. I'm saving it as car.java. Okay, after saying every time, please take pen and paper and do this every time so that you will be very much comfortable. Okay, there will be a compiler will check all the lines of the code, and if the code is error free, it is going to generate a file will be generated. That file is called as what? .class file, and the name of the file is going to be same as the name that you have saved. Okay, car.class, car.java becomes car.class file. After this, JVM will come into the picture. Okay. What JVM will do? JVM will accept the .class file, which is what? car.class. Okay. And it will execute the code. It's going to execute the code. To execute the code, JVM will generate a main thread. Okay. A main thread will be created. Main thread is nothing but to execute instruction, a control flow has to be there. Okay, that control flow is called as main thread. You can call it as empty. This main thread will try to search for the main method. It will try to get access to the main method. Okay, and in the file, in the Java file, okay, I mean in the dot class file representation, okay, you'll try to identify the main method. Okay, main method is identified. It's the main method. Only the instructions that are inside the main method will get executed. Okay, what are the first basic instruction? Object creation. Yes or no? So behind the scenes, a memory object will be created, and this is going to get the reference variable name as what? The reference variable name of this object is going to be what? Object itself. Why object? Because that is the name that you are giving it here. So this new keyword will ensure that an object is getting created, right? And the reference variable name for this object is what? Object itself. So object is a reference variable, right? And this object is going to allocate memory for the properties. What are the properties that we have? There are two properties. One is the what? One is the name property. Whenever object is created, the JVM will ensure that it will check for is there any properties in the class. Yes, there are two properties. One is name property. We have not assigned any value to this name property. Yes or no? By default, if you are not assigning any value to the name property which is of string type, name variable which is of string type, it's going to take the default value which is null. For string, the default value is null. But if you're not assigning, it's going to take, okay, since the programmer is not assigning any value, let me assign some value. I cannot keep it blank because I'm allocating the memory. JVM thinks I'm allocating the memory. I cannot keep the value as blank. I want to assign something. So let me assign it as null because you are using the string data type. For string, the default value is null. Again, thank you for rejoining. We'll take 10 more minutes. I hope my voice and screen is visible. My voice is audible and screen is visible. Check your connections. Are we good to proceed? Type as in the chat box. Okay, let's continue this. Okay, so what I was saying, okay, now for the name property, since the values are not declared, okay, the JVM says even though if programmer is not declaring values, I will assign a default value. I cannot keep the object as empty. So one or the other value I need to assign. It always assign null value for the string. The value is going to be null. If you're not assigning, it will assign null. If you're assigning, it will take that assigned value. As simple as that. What is the mileage? The mileage is of what type? Float type. Mileage is of what type? Float type. Right? For the since you are not assigning any value for the mileage also, it will take a default value. For the float, the default value is 0.0. Okay. For the float, the default value is what? The default value is 0.0. Making sense, right? So object is created. Okay, this instruction has created an object. Okay, this instruction, this first instruction has created an object. Okay, then it has to jump to the next instruction. What is next instruction? There is a parameter passing mechanism. Okay, you are calling a method. Okay, you are calling a method by the name of customer, and you are passing the object reference. You are passing what? You are passing the object reference or object reference. You're passing what? You're passing car object reference. So this obj, okay, here, see, focus here. You're passing object reference to here. And again, this is what? This is of car type. And here you have placed another reference obj. This time an obj will be created, and this obj will also point to the same object. Will also point to the same object. Very simple. Very simple. Let us take that book example. Let's take that book example. This time the example is going to be a bit different. Okay. See, now same time, so you are facing the Java exams. You are going to write the Java exam tomorrow. I am your professor, or I am your faculty, right? And this is me. Okay? And you are asking me, sir, I want to borrow the Java book from you. I have exams tomorrow. So this time, what I am saying, instead of asking you to take the Xerox copy, instead of asking you to take the Xerox copy, what I am doing, I am just asking you to take my own book itself. This is you. Okay, this is me. Okay, this is me. Okay, this is me, and this is you. Right? Sir, I want Java book. Okay, my dear student, I want you to score 100 out of 100. Take this book. Same book I am giving. What student is doing? He is studying all the night. He is doing the night out, and he is taking the highlighters and marking all the important parts. Lot of changes are done in the book. Lot of scribblings, lot of things are done in the book. For his, you want to mark the specific point so that you will not forget in the exam hall. Okay, and after completing the exam, he is returning the same book. The same book is lent, and the same book is returned. The changes are reflected to both, because he is giving the book after making a lot of changes, after marking the book with a lot of highlighters and with a lot of pen marks, okay, things like that, and he's returning. Okay, just like that. Okay, if the changes is happening here, it means that the book is my book. In future I'm going to return this book. He is also going to see the changes, right? Yes or no? The changes that is made by you is same as the changes that is, the changes that is made by me, same as the changes that is made by you. In future I will make some changes, okay, to prepare my lecture. In future I am going to make some changes here. I'm going to write something, I'm going to scribble something. My changes will also be there. And in the next year, okay, you are asking the same Java book, because you have kept some arrears in the Java, you failed in Java exam, you want to rewrite this exam once again, you are asking my book once again. Okay, my scribbling will also be there, and you will add another scribbling also here. So in this case, in this example, the copy will not get created. In the previous example, for primitive types, a copy is getting created. So just you need to understand this. Copy is getting created, and the changes that you are doing is limited to yourself. Okay, this will not reflect to my book, because you are using the Xerox copy. But this time, okay, you are not using I'm not giving the Xerox copy. Instead of that, I am giving my own book. Okay, the book will be transferred here and there, okay, to me and you, until you clear this exam. My changes will also be there, your changes will also be there. Just like that, one object will be created, and due to this parameter passing mechanism, okay, the reference that you have here, core object reference, right? This reference will also point to the same object. Both are pointing to the same object. No copy will be created. Original object will be the original object. If you do the parameter passing mechanism also, this original object is going to get affected. How it is going to get affected? Now see, now what I want to do it here is, okay, I will use my object reference, which is obj. I will call the dot variable. There is a dot operator. There is an operator called dot operator. By using this dot operator, I will get access to the name. Okay, then I will do what? I will give the car name as Alto. Okay. Now second thing, by using the object reference obj this time, okay, I will get access to mileage. Okay, and I'm going to give the mileage as, okay, Alto gives 20.5. 20 means floating representation. Don't worry about this. What happens behind the scenes? Okay, the control was here. Till now object is created here, and you are using the call by value parameter passing mechanism, and you transfer this control to the next method, which is customer method. Inside the customer method, this main method has to execute all the instructions. What is the first instruction? Oh, this method is trying to modify the value. It's trying to get access to the name inside the object. Okay, now this control will search for obj. With the help of dot operator, it will get access to the name. For the name, what you are doing? You are changing the null to alto. Null becomes alto, right? Okay, then it will go back to the same location. Next, what is next instruction? Obj dot mileage. Where is obj? Obj is here. Dot means get access to the internal object, and mileage is here. And what you are manipulating, this time you are giving 20.5f. Okay, this 0.0 will become what? 20.5f. 20.5. Right? After this, the control will go back to the location where it was called, and the main thread will go back to JVM, and main thread is going to get. So what is the actual proof of this call by reference? What is happening here? In future, after completing this execution, if I keep a system.out.println here, system.out.println, and if I try to print, I try to get access object dot name. Okay, object, what I am trying to access, by I'm using system.out.println, I'm trying to access object dot name. This control will go to the object reference and will try to find the name. Okay, now this time the name is what? Name is alto. Okay, alto will be displayed in the console. And again, after the system.out.println, after the system.out.println, okay, over here, okay, let's imagine that there is a line here. So I'm keeping a statement. What statement I'm keeping? I'm keeping object dot name equal to, I'm changing this to BMW, right? Now the control will identify the next statement, object dot name BMW, right? You are assigning a new value now. Where is the object? This is the object. Will get access to the name. It will modify this alto. Okay, alto will be removed and BMW will come into the picture. The changes are happening in the same object. That's what I'm trying to explain. Okay. Now here, over here, okay, after doing this, we call the customer method once again after this line, and if you try to execute the name and the mileage values, now the new data will be what? BMW 20.5. Okay, you make the changes in the formal actual arguments, or if you make the changes in the formal arguments, these changes are going to happen on the same object. So this concept is called as what? Call by value by using object references. By using object references, it is just like sharing the same book over and over again. You make some changes, I make some changes. Both changes will be impacted. Right? That is what happening. One object is getting shared by both the references. Even if you change the object by using this reference, changes will happen, and even if you change the object using the changes will happen. This mechanism is called as what? Call by value mechanism by using what? By using object reference. Mechanism is called as what? Call by value mechanism. Call by value mechanism by using object reference. In the interview question, they will ask you what is call by. Will Java allow call by value or call by reference? You should say call by value it will allow, but there are two types of call by values. One is call by value by using primitive data types. Second one is call by value by using object reference. For primitives, a new copy will be created when you do parameter passing mechanism. But for object references, no new copy will be created. In the changes will happen in the existing object. Here the copy will be created. Okay. Here copy will be created. Here no copy will be created. That is the only difference. No copy. But strictly speaking, I want to speak strictly. What does that mean? What do you mean by strictly speaking? Okay, what is that? Strictly speaking, call by reference is not possible in Java. You answer this also fine. Call by reference is not possible. Not possible. So when I was giving my interview for the first time, this was a question asked to me. Okay, Java allows call by value or call by reference. Right? I said Java allows only call by value. Strictly speaking, same word I used. Strictly speaking, call by reference is not possible in Java. Okay, they did not ask me question strictly. Next question, they jump to the next question. Okay? Only Java allows call by value because again the call by value is differentiated in two types: calling by using primitive data types and calling by using object reference. Right? Why call by reference is not? This call by reference is different than this. This is just object reference by using call by value only. But call by reference is not possible in Java. Why it is not possible? I have given the structure because call by reference is not supported by Java. In call by reference, we need to pass addresses in the parameter passing mechanism, which are stored in the form of pointers. But pointers are not there in Java, right? And pointers are not there in Java. That's the reason why call by reference is not possible. Pointers are there in C and C++. That's why it is possible to do call by reference in C and C++, not in Java. From tomorrow onwards, the class